He is not out of the woods, but we are so happy to bring you this statement from the Buffalo Bills, who just tweeted that per the physicians caring for Damar Hamlin at UC Medical Center, he has shown remarkable improvement over the past 24 hours. While still critically ill, Damar has demonstrated that he appears to be neurologically intact. His lungs continue to heal, and he is making steady progress. The Bills say they are grateful for the love and support that we have received. And we are all grateful for that statement and the news that Damar Hamlin is seemingly improving. His teammate, Kaiir Elam, tweeted right before the team did, "Our boy is doing better, awake, and showing more signs of improvement. Thank you, God. Keep the prayers coming. Please, all love." There. For number 3. This is NFL Now, NFL Network. We have Cam Wolfe in Cincinnati. We have Mike Giardi in Buffalo. Cam, we were just given that statement. It's going around the internet, going around the world pretty quickly. You're there at the hospital. Anything else possibly that we can add?
Andrew, about 5 minutes ago, I spoke with Damar Hamlin's family spokesperson, and I could hear the emotion in his voice. And he said, yes, the Bill statement is absolutely correct. We've seen remarkable improvement. And he really wanted to focus on 2 words, neurologically intact. I asked him about him being awake, and he said, I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on neurologically intact. And I asked him about the vibe in the room in the hospital he just stepped out of. And he said everybody's extremely happy. He said they just received the news from the doctors this morning and that he was neurologically intact and he continues to heal his lungs. And he said that is great news. We've been hoping for a very long time. And he just mentioned he was so thankful for the medical professionals and all they've done to get Damar completely healthy. He said he wanted to talk with the family a little bit more to give a more firm statement because he said his parents are processing right now, but he said overall the vibe is extremely happy, and he repeated the words again to me, neurologically intact. He said that is great news for us. And so as we saw in the Bill statement, he's still critically ill, but these are great updates for something that we've been desperately waiting to hear. And so I will be back with you with more updates I hear from the family. But right now, this is the most positive update we've heard in 3 days in regards to Damar Hamlin.
And we are at least, thank you, Cam, scheduled, Mike, to hear from Sean McDermott and players later today. Is that still on as far as we know it?
So nothing, again, official from the team, Andrew, although we're hearing dribs and drabs, possibly instead of the normal schedule, and this is a Thursday, but they were kind of planning it might be a normal schedule. At least that was the thought. That maybe we'll hear from them post-practice. Again, nothing official yet, but that seems to be the direction that we're trending in. I will tell you this, from Kaiir's tweet and then some of the stuff that we've just put out there, I just got a text from one of the players who said, keep the prayers up, they're working. So there's faith here, and I think again, it's almost like a little sigh of relief. He's still not out of the woods. Cam has made that very clear. I think all the reports have made that very clear, and that's important to note. But the signs are pointing in the right direction, and that is something that is heartening the team that's inside preparing to play a football game, that you still wonder how you get yourself ready for that. But this is the kind of news that will help these guys, I think, progress as they get further and further away from something that just happened on Monday night. That was a horrible thing for them. And to see their brother down like that and in such disrepair at that moment, and to now be hearing this, definitely, as we all are, we're smiling, and clearly they're smiling inside as they monitor the news and feel good about what they're hearing right now.
Hey, Mike, just real quick, you said you got a text. Just for clarity, that was from a Bills teammate, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And I will say, and just to clarify, guys, so one of the things that was told to me, and I'm taking you behind the curtain a little bit, is in kind of communicating with several of the players over the last 2 days, is that if you've noticed, no Bills players, other than some social media tweets, have gone out and talked. There was one player, Deion Dawkins, has done some things, but otherwise you haven't heard from the players other than what they've done on social. And some of the things that I've, in conversing with the players via text and messaging, is that they want it to be all about Damar and not about them. That is the most important thing. So when they say, Mike, you can say what I said, but don't say who said it, because it's not about them. It's about Damar. That's the only thing that they've been concerned about with this entire time is Damar and his family and the recovery process. And again, to hear this news is something that they're obviously inside the building. They're hearing it too, and they're feeling good about it.
You know, and just to get what Cam and Mike are just showing us here is just a system-wide, so to speak, level of respect, right, for the family, for the privacy of Damar, and just a trickle of health. And that's, you know, something along this process. Yes, it's an outlier, but I think the level of respect that most people have shown with the unknown of Damar's health for something we haven't seen has been remarkable. Not everybody has done it, but the level of respect, again, we've shown in seeing something that all has shaken us has been great. You know, Cam and Mike, well, good job, you know, with you guys reporting what you have to do. Mike, you kind of, you know, explain what we have to do sometimes. So thanks for taking the world behind that layer. You know, to hear some of the things that, you know, talk about, remarkable. He has had substantial improvement. Kyer Elam mentioned that he is awake. We don't know that, but if he was, that means maybe he's being pulled back from some of the sedatives that the doctors initially put on him to make sure everything was stable. I mean, these are significant gains, you know, because I talked about the level of respect that everybody is showing about this medical situation. So for them to use adjectives like substantial and remarkable, those aren't being thrown out there hyperbolically, right? These are being thrown out there to say, okay, we've seen some improvement. Now, again, the Bills said he is still critically ill. We're not, you know, no one's expecting necessarily, you know, some rapid jump from A to Z, but this is a good sign. And what Mike Giardi just said about, you could tell that there's a level of emotion now that probably has changed in that Buffalo Bills locker room, across NFL locker rooms. And just hearing any positive news, I don't think anybody's letting out a sigh of relief right now, but they are probably throwing their hands up in praise to some degree, saying, let's continue this trend, because we have seen, this is a brotherhood. You know, you hear that word brotherhood thrown out there a lot in sports. We have seen, this is a brotherhood that is extended to all 32 NFL teams, but also just across society as a whole.
And let me button this up by saying the one Bills player that did speak, Mike, as you mentioned, is Deion Dawkins, is their Walter Payton Man of the Year award nominee. And very, very well respected and loved in that locker room and in that community. Thank you, Mike Giardi. Thank you, Cam Wolfe. Positive news, thankfully.